Good afternoon. I had planned to get on here sooner. It's my day off, one of my days off, and then I'll work on Thursday and Friday, and I'll have Saturday and Sunday off. Anyways, I was going to film outside, and I kind of still really wanted to, but then I can't read out of my Bible, and I really like to make sure to, let you know what scriptures I'm talking about as far as I just want to make sure that I'm referencing the right things and telling you what is in the Bible. Anyways, I opened my Bible up to Proverbs and I was just reading, and I just loved so many of the scriptures. Proverbs is really good, like a good start for anybody that is looking for instruction and looking as to how we're to live our life, the choices that we make. It talks about wisdom and foolishness, and just, it just has some really good instruction. And I don't always read it, but I really think that I'm going to read all of it again. There's 31 chapters. Anyways, one that caught my eye, there was many that caught my eye, but this one I thought was really interesting. It says, better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool bent on folly. And it's Proverbs 17:12. So, I mean, you probably can already figure that out. How a mom is, to her children. She wants to protect them, or a lion and her cubs. Same thing with a bear. You would rather meet I don't know what I'm saying here, because it seems like it's the opposite. It says better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool bent on folly. So even though it would be really, really not good to meet a bear that doesn't have her cubs, somebody took them, whatever, they're saying it's better than that to somebody that is, bent on doing something foolish, something not good. And it could be anything. It could be, hey, we're going to, hang out and watch a movie, and this person's reputation, that they get bored easily, that they get tempted easy, that they can be trouble. And yet you don't want to be alone. You're thinking, well, it's better than being alone. And next thing you know, he's called up a friend, and, you guys are cruising, and, you're stealing something, or you're gone somewhere where you don't even normally go to. And so, I mean, I guess bottom line is we all have choices. And every day we're going to have to make a choice in our life, whether we choose a good path or a not so good path. And I do believe that even when we make the mistakes we make, that we can learn lessons, and that God will and does protect us often, from ourselves. Excuse me. My throat is kind of dry, but, he does allow us to make choices. And yet throughout scripture, and again, I'm in Proverbs, he talks about a man choosing his own way, and that he still will direct the steps. I just find it very interesting that we so often think that we're in control. We get up in the morning, we get to decide if we're going to eat breakfast or not. We get to decide if we're going to call out from work, or go to work, or see a friend, or eat chocolate cake for breakfast. We get to decide, like, so many things. And yet there is going to be, I don't know, lack of a better word, consequence. If you get up every morning and you decide to not exercise, then, you're not going to feel as strong. If you get up every morning and you don't want to shower, then you might smell, because you do need to freshen up, even if you don't shower. But, those are things that are going to happen. If you eat cupcakes and cake, which I like. Um, if you eat those every morning, consistently, you're having a big slice of cake or whatever that is. Maybe it's Pop-Tarts, maybe it's cinnamon rolls. I really like those cinnamon rolls with um, the thick cream cheese frosting. I haven't had those in a really long time. But what I'm saying is if you're doing that every day, you're going to gain weight. You're going to feel more tired. You're not going to have energy. Yeah, I think sugar can give you some energy, but it's short term. It's not a long term energy that you want. Again, I am telling you this because I know I do like sugar, and it has really been a struggle for me. I would say my whole life I really struggled with sugar. Just love the way it tastes. Just crave it. And I started again. I started to eat apples again. And I know that sounds like, what are you talking about? I had found a book, and it was called The Apple Diet. And you eat an apple before every meal. You're allowed to have 3 meals a day, plus I think 2 snacks. And so the first thing you're going to eat for that meal, before your meal, is an apple. And this time I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm not really even following the recipes. I'm just kind of still incorporating the things that I like to eat and know are good for me, as long as they're not processed, which would mean things that I do like. I do like, some frozen items like taquitos and things like that. And I even like, the chicken nuggets that you can get frozen, but those are really not going to be something that I can do all the time. And I don't. I will have a BLT. I love having a BLT with lots of tomato and, mixed greens, some type of lettuce or spinach on it. And then, bacon, of course. And I usually use, a little bit of mayo. I think I'm using avocado mayo now. And it's usually on sourdough or, maybe the flatbread. And I like to put avocado on it if I have it, slice it up and put it on there. And it's really good, and it's really filling. And so I find that eating the apple takes away my craving for sugar. And it also fills me up. And it's sweet and it tastes really good. And so the last time I was doing it, I was eating, really big apples because I don't like the smaller ones. And so I would eat, 3 to 5 apples a day. So that was a lot, and I think it was way too much. So I'm doing it a little bit different this time. I'm doing a half an apple, maybe, 9 pieces, 9, I slice it up, and it's maybe 9 pieces. Maybe at my snack time, I'm only having, 5 or 6 pieces. And so the bottom line is just a balance. You don't have to eat 5 or 6 gigantic apples, but incorporate apples before your meal. And it's good for your teeth. It cleans your teeth, and it tastes good. It's crunchy. It kind of satisfies your desire to crunch and munch. At least it's doing that for me. And then it does take away that craving for the sugars and the sweets. And then after you eat the apple, you're going to eat whatever you've made for your meal. And it might be a BLT. It might be a bowl of soup. It might be a grilled cheese. It might be a tuna melt. I still do eat those kind of things. I eat salmon patties, I'll eat baked salmon. I'll eat vegetables with, a piece of salmon or whatever. There's lots of different things you can do. I'm not really trying to take anything out of my diet, but as far as wanting to do less sugar because it helps my body and the inflammation that it causes. So eating, junk food, eating the sweets and, lots of baked goods, cupcakes and cookies and all of those things are going to cause you, I do believe it does cause your brain to be foggy. Your eyesight is not as good because sugar will cause that. And then you get inflammation in your body. And yes, there are many things that are good and healthy for you that can cause inflammation. Pay attention to your body. If you eat a certain thing and your gut doesn't feel good, or your arthritis or in your body, your back or wherever is hurting you, then it might be an issue. I stick away from caffeine And I did try to do the coffee thing because one, I really like the way it tastes. One of my favorite ice creams as an adult has been coffee. And I could tell you about ice cream. I used to eat ice cream and I don't do it anymore. I want to say that I eat ice cream maybe 2 to 3 times a year. I think mostly because it's too cold in my mouth. And my favorite way is, of course, Frappuccinos and like milkshakes and stuff. But I really don't do those. If I really want to have a milkshake, which I would choose the Frappuccino before a milkshake, I will. I did have one, maybe it was in September. I had a pumpkin Frappuccino with whipped topping, and I didn't do the largest. I think I just did maybe the medium. And, it was really good. I really liked it. And I do feel like it kind of gave me some energy temporarily. But there are ways to still satisfy that. I've actually made them myself. And so I know what I'm putting in ingredients wise. So it's not as high of sugar. And then I can use plant-based milk instead of milk. Again, I don't like milk. And then I don't like kind of how it affects me. I feel like I'm more congested and stuff when I do dairy. And so I'm even thinking about the eggs and the cheese. I still do incorporate eggs and cheese. One, because it's a good protein. Cheese and eggs do have good protein. And, when you're kind of on a budget and you're making less, you kind of have to, get resourceful and utilize the things that you can eat that will be healthy, and still get, a wide range of nutrition. And I'm still, just really working on it. I'm kind of paying attention to how I feel when I eat certain things and if it's bothering my body or my inflammation or if I'm low energy or whatever. I think certainly eating more vegetables is good and healthy, and that doesn't always happen for me. I'm tending to buy like frozen vegetables and then I'll cook some up and I'll have it for a few days. I do like salads, but oftentimes you buy salad and then once you get it open, it starts to go bad. And so that's frustrating for me because it's not cheap. I like the avocados and tomatoes. I really like sweet potatoes, so I incorporate those in as often as I can. But I don't know. I just feel like what we put in our body really is going to, it's going to really go against us or for us. I think we will have a better day if we are eating good things. We're putting good things in our body. And I'm the first one to say, I just love the way something tastes. I mean, I remember growing up with fried chicken and meatloaf. And I'm not saying never have that, but we were having those things, every week. And just I love mashed potatoes, such a comfort food. But anymore, it crashes me, buttermilk pancakes. It'll crash me. Like, I don't like the way I feel pretty soon after I eat it. And so I know the things to eat and not eat. I mean, even too much rice. And I really like white rice and yellow rice and some other, different things. And I like pasta, but I don't really do pasta anymore. I have made spaghetti and I've made it with like zucchini, spiralized zucchini and stuff. And it's really good. But just really to pay attention to what your body's telling you. How are you feeling if you drink a lot of caffeine or you drink a lot of coffee or, you're constantly getting stuff at the gas station, the donuts and the burritos and the fast food, drive-through fast food and things and, stuff at the deli. If those are the things you consume all the time, then take a check and find out, how do I really feel? How am I really feeling? Because that's going to kind of be an indicator. If you're exhausted all the time and you can't get up on time, and then when you do get up, you're just still, tired until like 2 PM, and then you're going through that cycle and you're grabbing that Red Bull or you're, grabbing that quick snack. One, because you're hungry, you want to eat. But what we put fuel, use for fuel, really does make a difference. I mean, if you were to put I guess a really good example is like a really, really nice car. Would you put the lowest grade of gasoline in a Corvette? No, I'm guessing you would put the very best, and you would make sure it has all of the fuel efficient things and all the lubricants and I don't know how cars run and everything in them, but you would want to put the very best in that vehicle because you want high performance. So if you were putting junk in your Corvette, just some old gas and not doing all the things that it needed, and not using synthetic oils, it's not going to run very well. It's going to run rough, and so that would be for us. If we're sipping on a soda all day long, or we need that caffeine, every 2 hours or whatever, and, we grab on our break a donut or a muffin or some cupcakes, or, the deli has, chicken strips and whatever. It's, you can get away with it maybe in your 20s, maybe even in your 30s. I know that I really ate poorly in my 20s. And really maybe up until now, up until maybe the last, I don't know, 10 plus years. I've been on different journeys in that, and I really do make an effort to eat better. Like, I really love avocado toast. And like I said, I really like things that are crunchy. And the apples are really helpful for me because they really are crunchy, and the sweetness of them, it's satisfying for me. I don't know what's satisfying for you, but maybe try some things. And I don't like the word diet because I feel like it's a lifestyle change. Find what works for you, and maybe it's something from, the apple diet. Maybe it's a little bit of that, and it's a little bit of the carnivorous diet, and it's a little bit of keto, and it's a little bit of whole food, and it's,